What is going on YouTube? N64 Fortress here, I'm back. Thanks for tuning in again as always, it's very much appreciated. What we're going to go through on this video is episode 6 of mission N64 239. On that, we're aiming to complete and review all 239 UK PAL N64 games. That's right, all of them. It feels like a bit of an eternity since we've done one of these videos, so I do apologise for that. It's been a bit of a delay. The game that I've chosen to complete on this episode took a bit longer than I thought, and I've had a bit of a busy time with seeing family and doing some other videos and stuff as well. So it's just about getting the balance right, but I'm pleased to say that we've got another one ticked off. So yeah, which game have we gone for this time around? Well, we've gone for Mischief Makers. It's a 2D platformer game on the N64. I've played it once before for a couple of minutes and it wasn't really my cup of tea, so I didn't last very long and I haven't got much to say about it really, but you know, some people had suggested this to me and I did a bit of reading around and it sounds better than what my initial impressions of it were. So this is my copy. It's a brand new red strip sealed, lovely condition. I actually had a mint copy of this, absolutely flawless, but this sealed one came up on eBay and I ended up winning it. I can't remember how much now, but I'll put it on the screen, and it's a fantastic price for a lovely red strip sealed copy, so I was more than happy with that and to add it into my collection. But I felt like it's probably one to get out of the way. It's one that I'm not familiar with, so going into uncharted territory, as I will be with a lot of the N64 library. But yeah, I thought it'd be a good one to get out of the way. If any of you remember back to the Tarzan video, I read one of the reviews out in the magazine where they absolutely destroyed the Tarzan game. So in the same magazine, I decided to look up the review for Mischief Makers, and you'll be seeing this on overlay now, but it turns out that they read for Mischief Makers, they gave it 90%. It's retro, but it's totally rewarding. A perfect example of how to do 2D on the N64. So that piqued my interest as well. And I thought, you know what, let's just give it a whirl and see how it goes. So yeah, without further ado then, let's get into some gameplay and some analysis of Mischief Makers. And then we'll conclude with how we found the game and overall thoughts, really. Voiceover N64 Fortress here, I'm back. I've just fired up the EverDrive as I'm not going to open my sealed copy. So yeah, Mischief Makers then, it's a side-scrolling platform game developed by Treasure and published by Nintendo outside of Japan. It released on the 12th of December 1997 in Europe. It's a solo player game only, so there's no multiplayer or cooperative mode on this game. Your save progress does save to the cart, which is a massive plus in my eyes. The memory packs were fraught with problems back in the day, I found, so anything that saves to the cart is a bonus. And yeah, you play as Marina, an intergalactic cybot who has speed, strength and throwing abilities. The objective of the game is essentially to work your way through the levels and save the professor who has been kidnapped, a common theme throughout the game. There are 5 worlds, or planets if you will, on the game, and there's 52 levels that span across those on varying lengths to the levels. Some are simply really short and some are a bit longer and more complex, but it leaves plenty to get your teeth into. That gold diamond that I just picked up there's one of those to find on each level, and that will help you get sort of a better ranking when you complete each level. So basically you're ranked whenever you complete levels, and I guess it's based on the amount of collectibles or diamonds like I'm getting here that you find, or yeah, whether you get that secret diamond or not, how long it's taken you to complete the level, and so on really. There's different coloured diamonds that you can collect as well. There's red diamonds, which if you accumulate 10 of those, you can get an extra continue basically if you die. So the more continues you build up, it'll just help you later on if you keep dying at a certain point in the game. There's green and blue diamonds, and they just basically increase your health, which is that bar that you can see in the top left corner. The more your health depletes, the closer you are to death, and those diamonds will just help replenish that if need be. Throughout the levels, the expectation is that you hunt and you need to throw, jump, shake, carry things, and sort of work your way through the levels systematically really. You finish a level by finding a warp gate, and once you go through that, you're essentially going through to the next level. I found that the music was quite upbeat on the game and it was enthusiastic and got you going, so I'll let you listen to some of that for a moment. Through some of the levels you need to find these bombs, and you need to find the red bricks that you can sort of explode and allow you to get to a further part of the level. On this level you have to carry all members of this family back to the beginning of the level, and that basically it enables you to find the warp gate to complete this level really. As you can see, there's already other members of that family there that I've collected, which makes it quite interesting. interesting in the regards that the level's not straight up linear, like I said. On this next world, it became a bit of a sporting event, and you have these sort of various sports to compete in. This is simply a 100-meter sprint and then a 200-meter sprint, I think. And there's just other ones as well, like a long jump. And yeah, just quite fun, really, aspect to the game. I wasn't expecting this at all, but it did add another dimension. There's a ball game, a hurdle, and a bit of math fun there at the end, which, like I said, it added a new dimension to the game. Yeah, now we're getting into the nitty gritty. So this is like a third world boss, and I might be making it look easy in this video, but it took me well over an hour to beat this boss, to work out how to defeat it, and then to go through and survive the whole way and get round to beating it, really. So yeah, borderline frustration at times, but it looks so simple now, and when I played it back to film this footage, but at the time it was quite difficult and quite fiddly. You can see my health's pretty low there. It's it was quite testing at times. But yeah, I suppose it adds to the game, making it more difficult because it makes it feel more rewarding once you've, beaten the boss. So yeah, kudos for it to that, I guess, and not making it easy. So yeah, some of the bosses could be quite tough on this game, so it's certainly not for the faint-hearted, but I did find other bosses not so difficult. Let's just move on to the control schemes for a bit then. So you use the D-pad to move, like up, down, left, right, and A to jump, and B to shake or throw. Um, I thought that they missed a trick a little bit, not using the thumbstick, really, which was a unique feature of the Nintendo 64 controller. It just felt a little too, rigid and linear the way you could move, and I feel like you'd have a bit more scope of a range of movement if you were able to use the thumbstick, really, and potentially it would have been more easy on the thumbs using that as well. This is a level I was quite enjoying. You can see my reflection there. I was recording this off the telly on the tripod rather than ripping it on the Elgato. I just, spur of the moment, wanted to capture some footage of this level because I was quite enjoying it, and I felt that I needed to sort of put this in the review. And it's just like, it just added a bit of fun to the game, really. You have to sort of balance your way on this rocket and avoid these enemies. Make sure you collect that bond because you can't complete the level without that. And yeah, I just thought it was fun, really, and it might look simple, but yeah, it wasn't as easy as it looks. You can see me finishing prematurely there and not collecting those diamonds at the end, and hence I probably got a poor score for that level. Let's have a look. Rating D, yeah, so didn't do very well there. Here I am moving on to another boss then, and this one I found a lot easier than the previous one that I talked about. I will be quite brutally honest and say that when I first played this game, and I'm going back years ago now, I really wasn't impressed with this game at all, and those were the vibes that I got yet again when I fired it up to start this Mission N64 239 episode 6. But look, the game warmed on me, and I'm getting more infused there, beating that boss, and I did find myself wanting to come back and get further into this game. And here I am on the final boss now. It's sort of like the three main bosses that you beat throughout the previous worlds, and they're all coming together here, and it looks like something off Power Rangers. They're forming some sort of Megazord ultra boss sort of thing, and I swear they've nicked that idea from Power Rangers. Look at it; it looks literally like the Megazord. Not sure Bandai will be too happy to see that. But yeah, this final boss, I thought it'd be really difficult based on that third world boss that I had a lot of trouble with, but no, I found this one a lot easier, a lot more intuitive to work out on how to beat it. Um, Sometimes throwing them missiles, I did miss. Didn't include any footage of the misses, but he sort of tries to dodge out the way, and you have to double bluff sometimes to make sure you throw it and hit him. But yeah, here I am delivering the final blow by shooting this missile back at him. And yeah, quite elated at that point to finally complete the game. So that's it, guys. The professor is saved once again. Marina has done their job, and Mischief Makers is well and truly beaten, completed, and there is some replayability on this game if you want to go back and better your grades, but I think that's me done for now. Uh, Really pleasantly surprised with this game. It did surpass and exceed all expectations I had. Is it the best platformer on the N64? No, it's not, but it's a good little game. Is it a hidden gem? It's probably a strong statement. It's certainly an overlooked game. one that I certainly overlooked as well. So yeah, there is a game there, and there's enjoyment to be had. So would I recommend to play it? If you fancy a challenge and you want to play something different, then yeah, I'd certainly recommend this game. I'll go into my grading of the game at the end in the outro. But yeah, here's just a summary of the worlds coming up after the final credits. And I think it took me, well, it states that it took me 13 hours to complete this game. But what I will say is the timer carries on ticking down, even though you've got the game paused. So you might not be playing, but it's still carrying on ticking time down, which wasn't always the case for me. I was away from the N64 a fair bit. But yeah, I probably completed somewhere in between that, so maybe 8 hours or so. So that's it, guys. Episode 6 of Mission N64 239 is now complete. We have now completed 6 Nintendo 64 games out of the 239 in the UK library, so good progress. And yeah, Mischief makers then, it did surprise all expectations really. So when I first fired this up many years ago just to see what it was like, it clearly wasn't something I was interested in, and it wouldn't have been something I would be overly keen on back in the day really. I'll be honest with you, like I was playing games at that age like GoldenEye, I was playing games like Resident Evil on PlayStation 1 and stuff like that, and I became an adult ahead of my time really in terms of how I wanted games to look and feel sort of thing, and this would be considered something that wasn't really of interest to me. It's not very adult-like, is it? Let's be honest. But no, it's a little platforming game, and the more I played it, the more I found myself, more interested, and I'd actually turn this off and finish and have a break for filming Mission N64 239 or playing, and I'd find myself, hours later thinking, oh, I wonder what's going to happen next. So, it did get its claws into me, and it was, a little fun game. Some puzzles in there that are quite difficult. There's some bosses in there that were quite difficult. I spent over an hour on one boss, on the boss of the third world. I've put some footage on there. It took me so many times to do that, and then once I worked out how to do it, then I was able to just go back and do it again and film it and get a quick playthrough filmed for the episode. But yeah, it's a fun little game. There is replayability there because you get graded on each time you complete a level, and so you can go back and try and get an A grade for each level and go and find the gold diamonds in each level. But it's not something that's of interest to me. But yeah, glad to say I've completed this one now. Will I complete it again in the future? Probably not, but it's one to tick off, and I'm really happy with that. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that one. I personally would probably only give it a 7 out of 10. Ratings seem to be ranged from anywhere between 6 and up to 9 out of 10 that I've seen, but I'm going to give it a 7 because it is a good game, it is fun, but you got to think of what the competition was at the time. We had Mario 64, we had 3D platforming games. 1997, the world wasn't really asking for a 2D platformer really, and it is fun, but I just found that it's kind of lacking. We want that 3D world element explored. I thought they could have used the thumbstick on the N64 controller. That would have allowed better handling. I think it was a bit rigid, a bit too linear with the controls using the D-pad, and I felt like the story sort of drifted a little bit. The story felt a little bit repetitive. The professor kept getting kidnapped and you'd have to save him over and over again in different worlds, and I just thought, think of something else, something to mix it up a bit. You can't just have the same old throughout the story. It just felt a bit repetitive at times, but kudos to the amount of levels on the game. Was it 48 to 50 levels? It states 50 on the box. I thought it was 48, but 48, 50 levels, there's a lot of levels there to explore. Some are quick and easy, some are a bit more difficult and require a bit more thinking power. But if you fancy a challenge on the N64, this game will definitely bring that to you. I definitely had achy fingers at times from spamming buttons all the time, so it's definitely good for that sense. And yeah, hope you enjoyed the episode, guys. And yeah, if you've enjoyed the video, please smash a thumbs up. It really helps the channel out. If you're new but haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing, because we do all sorts on this channel. Yes, we're doing Mission N64 239, but I also go out and hunt and do gaming hunts, game pickups, CEX roulettes, go out and about, do real talk, just talking about retro gaming in general. I do want to bring other things to the channel as well, Mega Drive footage, discussing Mega Drive games, just discussing all games really. There's Shenmue on the Dreamcast I want to do an episode about as well. There's going to be more content coming to the channel, and there was probably something there for you somewhere. I don't expect everyone to watch every video. I know it doesn't work like that. But yes, I hope you enjoyed it. There's a couple of videos in the pipeline, so stand by. It won't be too long before the next one drops. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.